Thank you for staying with us. This is Morning Spring on Western Spring Television, and we are live on Star Times channel 190 and also on our YouTube channel, Western Spring Television NG. This morning, we take a close look at the oil and gas sector in Nigeria, a critical sector in this country. Nigeria is largely dependent on oil and gas, on petroleum, on crude, on fuel, whatever you call it. That's the mainstay of our economy right here in Nigeria. And recently, there's been a dispute, industrial dispute between the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and National Gas Workers, NUPENG, and of course, Dangote Group, Dangote Refineries, to be precise. There's been a dispute between them, industrial dispute, talking about how Dangote is going about its business. Now, NUPENG has actually gone on strike. They stated they were going to go on strike starting Monday, which is 8th September 2025, as a result of that dispute. According to them, according to some reports, Dangote recently recruited some drivers. We understand, we reported here, even on this program, that Dangote was planning to import about 4,000 trucks, CNG trucks, for distribution of petroleum products. Now he has recruited some drivers, and we are made to understand that in the process of that recruitment, those drivers were made to sign an undertaking not to join any union. And according to them, that is quite against labor laws. And also, a legal luminary, Mr. Femi Falana, has also called on the federal government of Nigeria to intervene in this dispute just to avoid a total breakdown of the sector. According to him, let me just take an excerpt of what he said. Human rights lawyer Femi Falana, SAN, has called on the federal government to immediately intervene in the brewing industrial disputes between the Nigerian Union of National Union of Petroleum and Gas Workers, NUPENG, and the Dangote Petroleum Refinery over alleged labor practices. NUPENG had on Sunday directed its members across the oil and gas industry to embark on an indefinite strike starting Monday, September 9, 2025. The strike, the union said, is in protest against a policy of Dangote Group, which requires newly recruited drivers to sign undertakings not to join any existing union in the sector. And according to Mr. Femi Falana, this move contravenes Section 40 of the 1999 Constitution, Section 12 of the Trade Union Act, and Article 10 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, Ratification and Enforcement Act. The policy is also a breach of the freedom of association and protection of the right to organize, Convention 1948, number 87, the right to organize and collective bargaining, Convention 1949, number 98 of the International Labour Organization, as well as the UN Universal Declaration of Human Rights and other international covenants ratified by Nigeria. That's coming from Mr. Femi Falana, SAN, legal luminary, saying this move is actually against the law, both local laws and international laws, that it's not right for you to actually drivers, the newly recruited drivers, to sign any undertaking not to join any labor union. And NUPENG has actually decided to go on strike. We also understand from the newspaper reports this morning that the strike will be proceeding because allegedly one of Dangote's representatives actually walked out of that meeting. We'll be taking a look at this morning, and we have joined us on this conversation none other than Dr. Joseph Obele, National PRO of PETROAN. Good morning, Dr. Joseph.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. You are a player and a stakeholder in this industry. First of all, I'd like you to just give us a brief overview of what actually is going on in the industry right now.
Okay, the situation in the Nigerian oil and gas sector has been worrisome, arising from the epileptic condition of the Nigerian four own refineries, the one at Kaduna, the one at Warri, and two here in Rivers State, arising from the poor management strategies of the NNPC. So Nigerians have been lamenting and advocating for the private interventions, and hence we now have the Africa conglomerate coming to establish the 650,000 barrels production capacity refinery per day, I think it is highly commendable. We in PETROAN, one of the reasons why we appreciate the Aliko Dangote is his desire to grow the Nigeria economy and boost the GDP and employment index. All is fine, and we commend him for that. But we must not celebrate him for investing in Nigeria, acknowledging the fact that some Nigerians are well-to-do, are busy investing in Dubai, investing in other countries outside Nigeria. So why we commend him for that? It shouldn't be exploitative. It shouldn't be to a detriment that you are investing. It is on record, some Nigerians are saying that the rate of which is selling cement in Nigeria is far different from the rate of which is selling in other African countries. That should be verified by you, a journalist, because it's not in my place to go and investigate that. It's you journalists that will investigate all these insinuations by Nigerians. So apart from that, having established this, take note of this. Before him, construction of this refinery, Nigerians were buying PMS far less than 300 naira per liter, almost 200 and something naira per liter. It's not his making anyway, because on the 29th of May 2023, during the inaugural speech of Mr. President, he did pronounce that subsidy is gone. And at that, the sector becomes a liberal sector where forces of demand and supply should take its place as a determinant of price. So the rate of which things are going and his approach to monopoly, recalling his antecedent and empirical evidence of the events of the in the cement industry and sugar industry and other industries where he is the market leader, is giving a consciousness of Nigerians to really say what is on the way coming. And when Nigerians are calling him Father Christmas and jubilating that the Messiah have come, we are asking, the one you're calling Messiah, is the same person that we saw in the cement industry? Let me give you this historical background. I'm a young boy in Rivers State, and I was born to meet the biggest cement industry in Rivers State called Eagle Cement and Rock Cement. And they were selling cement about, I think, 500 naira per bag. And just overnight, we saw a new cement brand called Dangote Cement, and he started selling 350. And Nigerians started celebrating and gave him ovation that the Messiah have come in the cement industry. Few years later, the Dangote, the Eagle Cement and Rock Cement could not withstand the aggressive approach to competition, and they sell off the facility, and he took over all the facilities. And all the cement in Rivers State became the Dangote. Today, Nigerians are buying cement how much? Above 10,000. But this was the Messiah at entrance. In marketing, we call this pricing strategy, pricing penetration strategy. The process of reducing your price in view of gaining the market share. Then after gaining the market share, then price becomes exploitative. Or in marketing also, we call it the game theory in marketing, where you just reduce your price far below your cost of production.
Just to penetrate,
in view of increasing it in the future. So these are theories and principles in marketing. So there's no approach to illegality to his approach by selling directly via his CMG trucks to Nigerians. But the question I want to ask is that, because I've checked my PIA, he has never contradicted any law, meaning his approach is legit and is legal. But the question we want to ask is tied to the utilitarian theory propounded in the year 1937 by Stuttgart. And he said in his theory, everything that is good to you, is it fair to all? Take note of this. Some things might be good to you, but is it fair to all? Now, let me ask you a question. Let's take an assumption that the University of Lagos should have like up to 5,000 lecturers, and you were just employed now as a VC of the University of Lagos, and there is a AI or robot machine you can buy that will teach better than all the lecturers. I'm talking about efficiency and effectiveness. And this machine, just one of it, can sack the whole of the 5,000 lecturers. So should we go for this machine because it's effective and efficient and sack the 5,000 lecturers? So some things you may want to really do may be good, but is it fair to all? That is the question we are asking. Because
Dr. Obele,
now direct supply to all. Yes.
Dr. Obele, I just want to confirm this. You are in the industry, so the crux of the matter now, can you actually verify the fact that the newly recruited drivers were actually made to sign an undertaking that they wouldn't join any union?
Yes. An undertaking of such was given to them. And like I mentioned, the meeting last night ended inconclusively in the conference room of the Minister of State for Petroleum. As at 11 p.m. last night, they were still in this meeting. But I think there are signs that the meeting might be fruitful because the meeting is continuing this morning. And there are indications that the strike will likely be called off this morning or today, before the end of today. But as at this hour, the industrial action stands as PETROAN has directed, in line with all the stakeholders, that all the filling stations should be shut down this morning. And as we speak right now, in Rivers State and in Abuja, Lagos, people are running up and down looking for fuel because the directive was so strong that whoever goes against that directive or violates such rule, a disciplinary action by placing a ban on lifting ban on such filling station will be so serious, and they cannot really withstand it. So
all right, Dr. Obele.
Following that, I think the directive stands at this moment. Yes.
All right. And, you know, interesting scenario we are having on our hands right now, because there is a dimension of pain that these action we inflict on Nigerians, and that might not be understood in any quarter by Nigerians who might be feeling like a pawn in the hands of the industry big players. That on one side. Now, your association in which you speak for, Petroleum Product Retail Outlets Owners Association of Nigeria, PETROAN, you made a press statement 3 days ago, and you addressed the Petroans. You called it Petroan's planned shutdown coincides with NUPENG proposed strike, and the unions unite for workers' rights against unhealthy competition in the petroleum downstream sector. In one of those paragraphs, which you made mention of earlier, passively, you said the president, as Dr. Harry, advised Nigerians to view initial strategy aimed at gaining monopoly as a Father Christmas promise, cautioning them not to forget the events that unfolded in the cement industry. He urged Nigerians to be vigilant and not be swayed by promises that may seem beneficial in the short term, but could have long-term negative consequences. That being said, there are many watchers who are saying Dangote is a businessman, big-time businessman in other spheres, and now he's playing big in the oil sector. He has his own challenges before, from regulators, from competitors, and all of those things, and he's weathering the storm, speaking, talking when it is necessary. So why will PETROAN, why will other big-time players in the sector not play big as well, you know, to say this is what it takes? It's just a matter of survival. It's a matter of people, players, upscaling their skills and whatever they need to do to play big, instead of seeing Dangote and whatever he's bringing as a Father Christmas gift. I need PETROAN's position on that. So is this not just a business jealousy? Why vilify the man?
Okay, in marketing, doing analysis of the market share or philosophy of the market share, we say the leader, the market leader is the one with the highest market share, and the second, the trader with the second highest market share is called the market challenger, and the third is called the market follower. So in the process where you have the challenger and the leader and the follower all in business, we say what we say in this is competitive pricing, which is against a price war. Right. Price war is in view of making your challengers quit, while competitive pricing is in view of leading the market share. Dangote's approach to competition is not competitive pricing, but it's a price war scenario where he is selling or adopting all his strategies in view of making his challengers quit business. So the position of PETROAN, let it be noted, that is not a selfish approach, but it's people-centric. What we are advocating for is the interest of all the people, citizens of Nigeria, because we are aware of the collateral damages that will happen. Let me give you one example. He has announced that he will be distributing to all the telecom operators, all the mass and the network signal centers. And analysis have it that we have about 50,000 network locations nationwide owned by all the telecom operators. And each one is serviced by a particular person. So meaning, and you cannot say the rate of which Dangote trucks will be supplied to these persons, meaning about 50,000 Nigerians that are currently servicing all these, let's call it mass location or network signal locations, will be out of business. 50,000. And these 50,000 have their truck drivers, have their family members, have their staff, have their offices that are operating. They will be out of business. Number two, he has announced to be selling to all the hotels directly by a self-dispensing truck. What do we call a self-dispensing truck? These trucks that have a dispensing meter right on it. A distributor, a producer coming to take the role of a distributor. What happens to the distributors? Now, I should be happy because I run a retail outlet in Rivers State. I own a filling station. And he said, I will not be paying transport going further. That his truck will just be sending it, let me move. Sorry for that. His truck will be sending it to my location without me paying transport. I should be happy for that. But we have about 60,000 trucks in Nigeria that operate on diesel. So diesel trucks cannot charge the same rate with CNG trucks. Let me give you a good example of this. For me to buy one food truck from Lagos to Port Harcourt, it will cost me 2.6 million by the diesel trucks. But by the CNG trucks, it will cost me about 700,000. And no person has CNG truck at the moment. All we've been using in the sector is diesel trucks. And what about 60,000 of these diesel trucks? What will happen to these 60,000 trucks, the directors and the owners?
Dr. Obele.
Number three, let me give you the core analysis.
Yeah, I want you to take it together. I understand. I want you to take it together that we should just lay it bare. These promises from Dangote Refinery and their strategy, especially distribution, and you have mentioned some of them, to say, okay, it will be distributed directly, to anybody or any company or any business who meets, whatever they have said they can meet. If you buy a particular quantity, and you talk about hotels, even individuals, even retailers, even people like yourself, filling station owners, to say, we'll come to you, no need to travel with you and your trucks again. So some were thinking this is a win-win situation. But now that you are raising this point, that's one. Number two is this. I want you to take it together to say, why can't, if Dangote has enough money, has enough fund and resources to invest in CNG truck, 4,000 of them, why can't Ipman, why can't PETROAN invest in maybe 1,000 as an association so that you can play big? And we understand Ipman, that's independent petroleum marketers, are not having issues with these. Why is PETROAN having issues with that? If you can't play 4,000 at once, 4,000 trucks at once, why not maybe 500? So that if it brings it to you, you too, you can play at least big in your locality. Everybody is happy.
Okay, let's get the fact right. I started by putting it to us that petrol is people-centric. Let's get note of this fact, that the policy of Dangote favors us. And I told you, for me to buy from Lagos to Rivers State, it cost me 2.6 million. And Dangote say, you don't need to pay that transport going forward. I will just take it to your station. I say it benefits us. We should be celebrating for this policy. So say we are people-centric is that we are not looking at how it affects us, but we are looking at the general public. And I said, number one, 50,000 Nigerians at the moment that supply to all the mask or the network signal locations. What will be for these persons? Number one. Number two, presently all those supplying to all the hotels we have in Nigeria, what will happen to them? Then number three, operators of tank farm, we have about 270 tank farms or tank private depots in Nigeria. In Lagos, we have almost 70. Here in Rivers State, we have almost 30. In Warri, we have about 20, Calabar and the rest. All the coastal states do have tank farms. Now, the tank farm owner is waiting that you should bring your truck and buy. And Dangote is saying, you don't need to own a truck, I'm selling to you. This is to say, all the tank farm owners will be out of business.
Yes.
And each tank farm has a minimum of 1,000 staff. So multiply 1,000 staff times 250 tank farms we have in Rivers State in Nigeria. This will tell you how many thousand persons that will be out of business. And what would they be selling in their tanks anymore? Would they be selling water in these tank farms? Then number 3, operators of modular refinery will be out of business. And they invested billions in building this. And we have about 7 to 9 modular refineries in Nigeria.
Dr. Obele.
So why the modular refinery man?
Yeah. Go ahead, sir. Please land on that thought.
Please land there before I come.
I say why the modular refinery owner is waiting for the marketer to come with his or her truck and buy. Dangote is saying, no, wait me at your station, I'm bringing it for you. This is to say, owners of modular refinery will be out of business. So I've counted just the list of few collateral damages that this strategy will bring. And let me say this again. So we Petron, it favors us. And this is why I say Petron is people-centric, and we are not selfish in this agitation.
All right, Dr. Obele, you've raised some points, you've raised some issues. Those who will be, cut out of business, about 50,000 of those maintaining all this network mass by telecommunication companies, the tank farm owners, and on and on. But Dr. Obele, let's look at it from this angle. Let's take a critical look at it. You say you are people-centric, which is fine. I quite understand the playbook Dangote is using right now is going to cut out a lot of middlemen from the equation. So your own concern, your worries, what will become of them? But again, Dr. Obele, if we are truly people-centric, if Dangote should cut out these middlemen, something else will be done. It's going to reduce the costs to the Nigerian citizen, to the average Nigerian on the street. We are not looking at it from that angle. Yes, some people will lose their businesses. They are middlemen. They are making money from it. But for the greater good, Dr. Obele, for the greater good of the Nigerian people, Dangote will bring down the cost by cutting out middlemen. And this is not the first time we're having this. Right here on this platform, we have this program. And I talked about John D. Rockefeller Sr., what he did with Standard Oil in the United States. Almost the same thing. I see the playbook repeating itself right here in Nigeria. So you said it all. It's a pricing strategy for him to penetrate the market. But of course, you are concerned about the monopolistic tendencies. But at this point, let us also look at it from the people's angle. The fact that the cost will be reduced for the people. Fine, some people will be cut out of business. When John D. Rockefeller did the same thing with Standard Oil in the US, he became very wealthy, one of the wealthiest Americans of all time, until 1911, when the Supreme Court of the United States had to break Standard Oil into 34 different entities, from which we now have ExxonMobil, Chevron Corporation, and so many others. But one thing was sure, he was able to capture the markets. Now, you are afraid that Dangote is about to do the same thing. But I ask you again, Dr. Obele, how about the fact that the cost to the average Nigerian will be reduced by this move of Dangote?
Okay, I will answer your question by putting a question to you. And the question is very simple. A man married to a particular family, his first wife, and he built estates for that family. 5 years later, the lady died, and they say he used the woman for money rituals. He married the second family also. He built estates for them, bought cars for them. 5 years later, the lady died. They say he used her daughter for money rituals. Now the third family is to you. He has come to marry your daughter in your family. Will you, now having that empirical evidence, will you give your daughter to such a man?
Dr. Obele, you might want to answer. We are the ones who ask questions around there.
No, I wanted to answer. Exactly.
Yeah.
But Dr. Obele, some people will say, well, in as much as he will make the lives of the family people better, they might want to make the sacrifice.
No, I stated that you have empirical evidence that the first wife, 5 years later he died, and they said he used the woman for money rituals. Second wife, 5 years later she died, and they say he used the woman for money rituals. Now he has come to you. Give me land, let me build estate for you, and give me a daughter. Will you release your daughter to
Dr. Obele, that's what I'm saying. That some families will say, well, they might weigh the pros and cons and say, well, since it will make the life of the family better, they are willing to take the risk.
You're being logical. You're being logical. Let me take it up with you. I mentioned the game theory in marketing, and I'm a lecturer of marketing in the university. So I thought you really like, Obele, tell us about this game theory. Let me explain about the game theory. as provided by Philip Kotler in the year 1930, I think 37 or so. The game theory said, you bought the apple 90 naira, I bought the apple 90 naira, and you are hoping to sell it 95 naira to gain 5 naira margin. The game theory said, no, I should sell it 85 naira and lost 5 naira. I should sell it 85. Then you'll be unable to sell the apple you bought 90. And the principal said, few years down the line, you will quit, you'll be out of the business. And the 5 naira loss I got from selling my apple loss, say when you're out of the business, I'll get it back by making my price exploitative. And that's the game theory. And we are saying, empirical evidence shown that the man you're calling Father Christmas, the man you're calling Messiah, this same thing in the sugar industry, the man you're calling Father Christmas and Messiah and Angel, did the same thing in the cement industry. And we are saying, same man has come, and you're saying, you still give me your daughter. Oh, that's your choice anyway.
Dr. Obele, I quite understand the marketing theory. I very much understand it. I've been in marketing for over 10 years, so I quite understand it very much. But the question, Dr. Obele, is do we have a better option right now? I understand your fears. You are right. Your analysis are on point. But Dr. Obele, do we really have a better option right now as Nigerians?
Okay, the immediate time option, or which is a short-time approach to it, is for federal government, like the intervention that will continue this morning, to intervene and make this deliberation roundtable conversation fruitful in view of calling off this industrial action. Because the hardship in Nigeria, the degree of inflation and unemployment and the insecurity, adding this to it, I think it further bring more hardship and untold hardship upon the citizens of Nigeria. And this is not the right time we should be experiencing this. It's quite unfortunate that Mr. President is on vacation, is not around, but I must give kudos to his ministers. The Minister of State for Petroleum, he has cut short his own trip. He's on his way coming right now. He will be arriving in Nigeria this morning, and all this intervention by the NNDPROA and NNPC security agencies talking about DSS and IGO police yesterday, they were restless. So I must commend them for their approach towards resolving this very soon. Like you mentioned, the better way for it is for them to intervene and call for an MOU for the Dangote group to sign and the stakeholders will also sign about a working format, a working template that will both favor the Group A and the Group B in view of this ongoing protest. Then the long-term approach to it is for them to make the 4 Nigerian refineries functional in a no distant time and hand it over to a private firm that can withstand aggressive competition with the Africa conglomerate. Because let me give this to you. The analysis of the fertilizer market in Nigeria today between the Indorama Fertilizer Company and the Dangote Fertilizer Company, who is taking the lead is the Indorama Fertilizer Company. Reason because the Indorama Fertilizer was an SBU of NNPC before now, and it was privatized to the Indorama firm, the Indonesia firm called Indorama PSC. So how come Dangote couldn't beat them in this competition for who takes the African fertilizer market? Because it's a private firm. So we are saying that the Dangote private refinery cannot withstand the competition. No, NNPC as a federal government parastatal cannot withstand the competition with a private firm as aggressive as the Dangote refinery. So this is why we are recommending the immediate privatization of the government for own refineries to a reputable private firm that can withstand this aggressive competition.
All right.
Hence, if that is not done, I think prices will be exploitative and it will be outrageous for Nigerians to buy.
All right, Dr. Obele, your last take on this program this morning. I remember you've talked about the Asia refinery, and that's why I'd like to ask, the 4 that we currently have, Nigerians are worried. Maybe they are not all working in spite of the turnaround thing, turnaround maintenance, millions and millions and billions of dollars spent this morning. 2 quick questions. You can do that in 1 or 2 minutes. All the 4 Nigerian refineries that we have, do we have any of it currently working? That's number 1. I hope, and I know rather, you have information on that because you're a big-time player in that sector. Number 2, Nigerians, Obasanjo, former President Obasanjo have said there is no way a Nigerian refinery will work. Sell it. It was sold, you know, before Aradua came, and then he revoked that. And here we are, after Nigeria as a nation has spent billions of dollars on it, we are saying sell it again. What happened to those monies that have been spent, people that have worked on it and that have gotten us here? 2 questions. Do we have any of the Nigerians refinery working? as of this morning, 9th of September 2025, and what becomes of all the monies that have been spent on it?
Okay, after the award of contract for the maintenance on the revamp of the 4 government-owned refineries, the one at Warri worked for just 2 weeks and it went down. I think that was end of March 2025. Then the one at River State, the first premium refinery of the 50,000 barrels capacity per day, operated from December 2024, and on the 24th of May 2025, it was ordered by the new group CEO of NNPC to shut it down, and they shut it down for a review process that have lasted for 4 or 5 months now, and stakeholders are worried that the few months the refinery operated will stop activities. So to answer your question, at the moment, no one is functional.
All right. How about the monies that are being spent? And there are postulations as well that it should be, you know, we understand we must just go. But maybe in the coming days, we will have you, Dr. Joseph Obele, the National PRO of PETROAN, and also a university don. Thank you for your time and your take this morning.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
We appreciate you as well. It's an ongoing conversation because the oil sector is the one that we can afford to just put our legs off the pedal. And we take a quick break. When we return, the conversation will continue. Stay with us.